Welcome to Dark Truths. Religion Uncovered. Tonight, we're exploring a huge shift in modern spirituality, something we often take for granted. The idea that faith is a private, personal affair. But was it always this way? Let's go back in time. In ancient theological contexts, faith was never a solo mission. It was a communal experience. You didn't just believe on your own. You belonged to a community, bounded together by shared commitments. This was the heart of the covenant. Mutual belonging. In ancient Israel, for instance, the community was one. If one person sinned, the whole community felt the ripple effects. And when someone repented, the entire community was restored. Faith wasn't just a personal journey. It was a shared responsibility that brought everyone closer. Fast forward to today, we often hear that faith is strictly between me and God. This shift has a major consequence. Accountability becomes optional. Community turns into a place for affirmation, not for challenge or correction. Belief becomes more about individual preference. Stripped of the heavy obligations that once defined covenantal faith, this might sound liberating, but ancient wisdom would see danger here. Scriptures repeatedly describe faith as a group effort. Think of the metaphor of the body. Each part needs the others. Isolation warps the very nature of belief. When we privatize our faith, we lose the checks and balances. The avenues for correction and accountability disappears and personal responsibility fades. We risk becoming our own ultimate authority, shaping our spirituality and morals based on nothing more than our own desires. Ancient wisdom knew this. It understood that unchecked faith can easily become self-serving. That's why communities had elders for guidance, prophets for confrontation, and systems of discipline. This wasn't about control. It was about protecting and preserving a shared, overarching truth. In a world where communal accountability can feel invasive or threatening to our sense of autonomy, it's worth remembering that for ancient traditions, autonomy wasn't the goal. Fidelity was. Fidelity to a set of beliefs, and just as importantly, to one another. When beliefs is purely private, catering only to personal desires, it stands in stark contrast to a communal faith aligned with truth and mutual accountability. Ancient worship was public for a reason, because sin had public consequences. Justice was seen through a communal lens, because suffering was understood as a shared human experience. Our modern tendency to shy away from these complexities can cause faith to retreat inward. God becomes less of a covenant partner and more of a personal life coach. The scriptures consistently linked loving God with loving your neighbor. This suggests that any belief system that lacks deep connections to other people is, at best, incomplete. The troubling reality is that, when faith becomes a purely private matter, injustice can thrive unnoticed. Suffering becomes an individual problem, and the responsibility to act shifts away from the collective. Ancient theology argued that holiness wasn't a solo pursuit. You were holy together, or you weren't holy at all. Modern faith often aims for a personal holiness that avoids confrontation. But this moral isolation can choke the transformative power that faith could have in our society. This brings us to an uncomfortable but essential truth. A faith that's confined to personal experience offers no healing to the wider community. Ancient belief systems sparked massive historical change precisely because they were built on shared responsibility. A concept that often clashes with modern individualism, which can be used as a shield against getting involved. So, as we wrap up, we're left with a powerful question that ancient theology would ask modern believers without a second thought. If your belief never binds you to the burdens of others, to whom or what is your faith actually accountable? Thank you for joining us on Dark Truths. Religion Uncovered. What do you think? Has faith become a private possession? Or is it still a communal covenant we're meant to carry together? Share your thoughts in the comments below.